Home is where the heart is, isn't it, Oxford fans? And if we do stay up this season, and it has been built off the back of this fantastic home form. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another review of another Oxford United game. Today, Oxford played Sheffield United. If you roll the clock back a week, things look pretty bleak after that defeat to Middlesbrough. There's a lot of doom and gloom, certainly from me, as we were just scratching our heads and wondering where the points were going to come from. We were hoping for something special, hoping for something amazing, something, let's be honest, pretty unlikely, and that is exactly what we got. If Oxford will win today, they had to play really well, they had to defend really well, and they had to rely on Sheffield United not being at their best. And that is exactly what happened, as Oxford probably, well, I'm not even going to say probably, that is the biggest result of their season. It finished at the Kassam Stadium. Oxford United 1, Sheffield United 0. It's a Sheffield United side managed by ex-Oxford gaffer Chrissy Wilder that have been superb so far this season. They battered us at Bramall Lane. I was there for that one, 3-0. And it's just been relentless form from Sheffield United as they just continue to find a way to win. And as I said, for this game, yes, you needed the crowd to be up for it, you needed the players to be up for it, but you needed Oxford to ride their luck a little bit. And I would say things went our way in that second half, but it was still a heck of an effort by everybody in yellow and blue, and that is a fantastic victory that is going to go a huge way towards that target of keeping us up. And for an Oxford fan that lives and works in Sheffield, it is going to be fun going in and seeing those Sheffield United fans next week. So let's just run over the game. Let's talk about the main key incidents, and then I'll give my final thoughts for both sides at the end of the video. So Oxford had Cameron Brannigan back in the heart of their midfield, and what a massive difference he makes skippering the side. Joe Bennett was back on the bench, which is good to see. Ollie Romani getting a starting role in the number 10 role, and it looked a pretty good Oxford side on paper. I'll just say that's as good as we could probably put out at the moment. Sheffield United unchanged from that fine win they had over Coventry last time out. And I actually thought it was a really good start from Oxford in this game. For the first half of the game, I thought they played really well, particularly in the first 20 minutes where they really took the game to Sheffield United. The players and fans seemed really up for the game, and Oxford were very much on the front foot. But Sheffield United are a quality outfit and still created chances and had two good chances before Oxford took the lead. On 20 minutes, Cumming made a good save from Harrison Burrows, and then on 30 minutes he made an even better save from Campbell. A ball bouncing around in the area, Oxford failing to clear it. Campbell with a good strike, Cumming with an almost unreal save. It was a decent game to watch, and both sides were using trial by long throw, if you like. Both sides not turning down any opportunity to hurl that ball into the box whenever they could. And not surprisingly, that is where Oxford have got their goal from once again. Once again, it's Will Volks' long throw doing the damage. This one was headed on at the near post by Ben Nelson. It was headed on miles up in the air by Nelson, but it went across goal. I think Hellick competed for the second ball, but everybody kind of missed it. Good anticipation by Siriki Dembele to get on that loose ball as the Blades defenders hesitated, and he coolly slotted it past Cooper. Rarely concedes a goal, but he did concede this one. And it was Dembele once again scored against Watford, scored against Sheffield United to put Oxford in the lead. Oxford take the lead once again in a game. What could possibly go wrong? Even from that point, you felt like this was just going to be a matter of Oxford holding on to what they've got. And Sheffield United pushed for that equaliser towards the end of that first half. Peck probably coming the closest to a goal, stinging Cummings' palms once again. Oxford clearing the danger from a relentless barrage of corners and long throws into the box. And they went into half-time at 1-0, as I said, for the second week end in a row. And I actually thought Oxford had played really well. It's not surprising where the goal has come from. I just thought the attitude of the Oxford players was excellent. Everybody was kind of snapping into the heels of the Sheffield United players, trying to make things happen. I thought Dembele and Plaheta looked pretty bright going forward. I actually thought Romane looked pretty bright in the first half too. Sheffield United probably, I think most Blades fans would say they were pretty sluggish in this half. They still did create three pretty good chances to take the lead and tested Jamie Cumming on all three occasions. But generally, a bit off with their pass and a bit off with their general play in open play. But at that point, I really could not see this staying 1-0. But if it did, my goodness, that'll do. Of course, it did stay 1-0 to Oxford, and as you might expect, it was very much one-way traffic in the second half, with Sheffield United laying siege to the Oxford United goal with tons and tons of possession, tons of pressure. But what I would say is they never really tested Jamie Cumming throughout the whole of the second half. Yes, they had opportunities and the bounce of the ball went Oxford's way on occasion, and Oxford certainly defended really well. I remember Kieran Brown making a superb tackle to deny Harrison Burrows on about 64 minutes. But as every shot went out of play, as every ball was headed away, as every bout of pressure was cleared, the Oxford determination just seemed to grow, and the noise of the crowd just seemed to grow as well. I mean, there were chances for Oxford on the counter-attack in this game, in that second half. What was annoying was, for most of the time, the quality of play or the decision making was poor, and we could not get those counter attacks going, and we couldn't get up the field and put Sheffield United under pressure. There was one really good one when the subs came on towards the end of the game, where Goodrum picked out El Masouni, and El Masouni made a real hash of it, where he could have gone himself, he could have played in Matos, and that was a great opportunity to see the game out. Despite 6 minutes of injury time, and as I say, despite a ton of Sheffield United pressure, Oxford stood firm, and Oxford, for the second home game in a row, win it by 1-0 through Siriki Dembele. Sheffield United fans, I'd be interested to know your thoughts on this game. It certainly wasn't your game today. There's been a lot of times this season where you've had games like this and you've found a way to win. Maybe it was just your turn. Maybe it was just your turn to not find a way to win this time out, and thankfully for me, it happened against Oxford United. But I do just feel that you were a little bit sluggish in the game. I don't feel that you really played with a fluency or with a pace that I've seen other sides play up against Oxford. I felt we dealt with balls into the box pretty well, as I would expect with Hellick, Nelson and Brown to do. But I just thought kind of the interchange of play between the outfield players weren't really good at like getting in behind Oxford and creating really dangerous chances. Only really that one chance in the first half from Burrows where he kind of got in behind and forced Cumming into a good save. But other than that, I just thought maybe it was just an off day, and despite Wilder bringing on quality players after quality players, change of tact of Kiefer Moore coming on, it just wasn't your day in front of goal. Very frustrating one for you guys, I know, because you got yourself into such an excellent position, with Leeds dropping points as well, and that's just put Burnley back on top of the table with you guys losing today. So, just like down the bottom, it's an ever-changing scene at the top of the table. I'll be interested to know your thoughts on this one, Sheffield United fans. You are an excellent side. You don't need me to tell you that. And this was just an off day for your boys. And my God, as I said, I'm very thankful for it. But what are your thoughts on this one? Did Wilder get his team right? Why were you so kind of off the pace today? And do you still believe that you're going to be finishing in the top two spaces when the music stops? Or are you starting to think now, even though it's just one game, that you might end up in the playoffs? Personally, I still think Sheffield United, their quality of just finding a way to win will see them get over the line and into the playoffs. And I wish you nothing but luck for the end of the season. But all outcomes are there, aren't they? We might be in the same league next season. We might be 2 leagues apart. Either way, good luck to you guys. And that brings me on to Oxford United. And this is what we've wanted since we've been back in the Championship. We had that wonderful win against Norwich on the opening day of the season, but we haven't really picked up a marquee scalp since then. And now that we've done it, and I'm just hoping that that gives Oxford such a huge boost of confidence as we head into these final, I can't remember if it's 7 or if it's 6 games left. I think 6 games left of the season. It isn't going to be pretty. None of these games are going to be pretty, certainly with the way Rowett sets Oxford United out, and certainly with the quality we've got in our side. And in many ways, you could say this was even more ugly than the Watford game. But just like the Watford game, you cannot fault the effort and the commitment of those Oxford United players. My goodness, what a shift they put in. The crowd roared them, really played their part in the victory today. But that was fantastic play by every Oxford United players. They all worked their socks off. They all defended bravely. And they all deserve a massive pat on the back for getting a huge 3 points. And Gary Rowett deserves a pat on the back too. Much maligned after that defeat against Middlesbrough. A lot of people, again, me included, criticising the style of play and the tactics. But that was a decent Oxford lineup he put out there today. It's a decent Oxford lineup. We went out and played with intent. It played with a purpose. We got a goal. And yes, we sat back and defended when we got that goal. But we had to do that. We had to sit back and do it. I think Gary Rowett got the starting lineup right. I thought Romney looked good in the 10 role, but he faded in the second half. It was right to take him off. And I thought that he made the decision to change it to wing backs to make us even more solid, or make it 5 at the back, was the right decision at the right time as well. The only thing that slightly disappointed me was in the second half, really, even right the way from the start of the second half, there were counter-attack opportunities which Oxford didn't take. There were opportunities where Oxford picked the ball up in good areas. Plaheta was on the run. You had Harris on the run. And we couldn't take the chance to create a meaningful attack. And that was partly through decision-making or the players not being able to control the ball or stuff like that. I also thought Idris El Masouni was a bit rubbish when he came on as well. But that might be down to the fact he's barely kicked a ball in quite a long time. But those are the minor nitpicks in what was a fantastic Oxford United win. And let's just say Jamie Cumming set the tone, really wonderful once again in goal, made key saves in the first half. But everything he did, everything he needed to do, he did superbly well. Every time he came out and claimed a ball, he caught it. Every time he had to beat a ball away, he was able to beat a ball away. And it was quite funny at the end, the roars that Oxford got for him catching a ball or winning a throw-in or winning a free kick. It is one of those games where you're just cheering every little positive moment that goes there your way. Everybody defended really well. Everybody put a shift in. I thought Brannigan being back in that midfield area with Volks was superb. Volks once again causing mayhem with those long throws. Where would we be without the Will Volks long throw? I thought first half as well, I thought Plaheta and Dembele looked really bright. I thought they got on the ball, wanted to take Sheffield United players on, wanted to get Oxford up the pitch. I thought Goodrum looked decent when he came on as well. Once again, we've seen from Tyler Goodrum a good hand when he's come off the bench. It'd be nice if Rowett would start him in the odd game, but he chose Romney. And again, I thought Romney did play quite well. Faded in the second half. Maybe you could have made that substitution earlier, but overall, I thought he did a decent job. Mark Harris selflessly running himself into the ground for the team once again. But is it going to be enough, Oxford fans? This is certainly an unexpected win. I don't think anybody thought well, some people were saying it's going to happen, but I did not think this was going to happen today. I thought Sheffield United would just revert to type and find a way to win today. And we'd be putting all our eggs in that basket for the QPR game. But that QPR game still remains absolutely huge. What a difference that could make if we can go back-to-back wins. And what an opportunity we've got to do that now. Because on 45 points, even with that win, we're certainly not safe. There's still some big winners down the bottom of that table. Hull getting a big win late against Wednesday. But once again, there's sides like Portsmouth and even maybe QPR now, who might have thought they were safe, who have now been dragged back into it. And Oxford could even go above Rangers if they beat them on Wednesday night. Certainly no foregone conclusion. I can imagine it being a very scrappy, tight affair. Could even be a 1-0. Either side could even be 0-0. Let's be fair. But I'm not expecting a high goal-scoring game in that one against Rangers. But again, if Oxford can win it, what a giant leap that would take towards securing our championship status. Because there's not many games to go now. We've got a 4-point gap. That's already put teams in a situation where they have to win a couple of games to maybe get above us. Those games are running out. If Oxford can get another win on the board, and then we go away to a side like Sheffield Wednesday, we're not in great form. Who knows? This might be the opportunity where Oxford seal the deal and don't have to take it to the final kick of the ball. But let me know, Oxford fans, it still remains mighty tight, but my goodness, what a feel-good win that is for Oxford United. What a fantastic win that is for Oxford United as well. Leave your comments down below, and isn't it nice to talk after wins rather than those miserable away defeats? And how much better are Oxford at home when we go away. I'll be back to do a review of Oxford's game against QPR on Wednesday night. Hopefully the Yellows can get another victory. But enjoy your Saturday evening. I'm sure you will, or Sunday morning, or whenever you're watching this. Thank you for your continued support. Come on, you Yellows. That's an amazing win today.